Hello, this reading is going to be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is going to be for January 2026. Now, I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be going back to my old school way of my spread when I read. And I will be incorporating a singles reading at the end for all the singles. So, I hope that y'all enjoy this. Make sure that you also check out my other readings for prior years in my playlist. Energy is timeless, so you might see that some of the other readings would resonate with you. It doesn't matter about the year, and you can always go from different months. Like you can look at January, February, March to get kind of a forecast. Now, make sure that you look at, this is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, but also make sure that you look at your, go to Cafe Astrology and get your birth chart. You would need to put in your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth as well, so you can get an accurate chart. I find that some of the readings, if you look at your 5th and your 7th house, could resonate. So let's say you're a Gemini. If somebody's a Gemini 5th or 7th house, some of it, the Gemini reading could resonate with them, as well as your North Node if you're operating in your North Node. You could be in your South Node still, but you could be in your North, you know. Just make sure that you look at all of them, all of the readings. They're like puzzle pieces, all right? So, example, your sun sign says that you're going to be getting some money coming in, okay? When you look at your rising sign, it says that you have an important letter coming in the mail. Well, that letter was a check, you know, or it was notifying you of that that money, you know. So generally, I do like to look at rising signs because they base your rising sign is your housing system, what it's based off of. So, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for January 2026. Y'all are immutable signs, so how are y'all doing? Because we've been having a lot of major changes with these eclipses, and then, you know, oh gosh, how we had all these retrogrades this year. I mean, everybody that is immutable are showing it. And, you know, they said this is a year of 9. If I find it, if you are a life path 9, that your life is affected, or if somebody you're with is a life path 9, their life is affected. You know, and it could be different areas. That's the reason why you need to know your birth chart. I will tell you this. The person I was with was a life path 9. And I am a mutable sign, but his rising and his Venus is immutable. And definitely, I mean, it has affected it greatly, my life and his. So, y'all need to check that out. I'm using 2 decks, and I'll be using an Oracle deck to be doing y'all's reading. Oracle for the singles read. Sisters, guides, and spirits come through. Just come through. It's time. For Gemini. Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising, Gemini Venus. And I shuffle on camera to let y'all know. I'm purely authentic. I haven't opened up for reads, but I am going to be doing another channel. So, and that will be for collectives. It will be a collective channel I'm going to be doing. So I have another project going on. And I will link that as soon as I get it done, so y'all can look at it. Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising, Gemini Venus for January 2026. Come on, let's get some good messages for Gemini. Let's see what's going on with Gemini. And what's going to go on for Gemini? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for January 2026. Spirit, show me Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for January 2026. Spirit. Current situation. Huh. There's some energy right there. You're walking away. You're leaving someone or something, some situation, Gemini. I don't want to, but I have to. That's what I get. I don't want to, but I have to. Crossing. You don't feel confident in this. Perhaps you're walking away from a person, place, or thing, situation. You're walking away from somewhere where you just didn't find a victor in there. You possibly could feel embarrassed, you know. You weren't victorious in this. I don't know if somebody else is victorious. What is Gemini bringing? 7 of Swords. Could you be sneaking off, Gemini, not letting someone know? Could you be finding out somebody's being deceptive? Or are you the one being deceptive? See what the person coming towards Gemini. What is that person bringing Gemini for January 2026? The Magician. One has the 7 of Swords, one has the Magician. Somebody's been being manipulative. I get that. Something about attitude. Attitude. Somebody's attitude. What the hell? Where'd that come from? Outcome. Page of Pentacles. Somebody either got some information or they want a new beginning. Look at Six of Swords. It's right here. Moving on to calmer waters. I think you have to do this, whoever it is. Either you or them. Remember, energy. This reading can be vice versa. And only take what applies. Remember, look at your other signs. So I want to know. You're walking away. You're leaving. It could be you're walking away from somewhere that you had an investment. You invested your love. There was an investment of love here. And it's just not worth it anymore. Why is the Eight of Cups here? Ten of Swords, reverse. Ooh. The Star card. Underneath the deck is a Two of Pentacles reversed. I get that whoever's walking away, I want to say it's you. You're needing to heal. You have no balance. You have no balance there. Sidebar, if it's another person that's walking away, or you're walking away because you don't want to be juggled. Somebody is trying to juggle. Somebody's trying to put the wool over someone's eyes, and they cannot do that no more. They could have possibly faced the Ten of Swords, and they're wanting to come out of the Ten of Swords. They need to heal. They need to leave. That is the only way that they are going to gain any type of balance in their life, is to leave, to go and be by oneself, to heal. For some, maybe the Ten of Swords point did not hit yet, and you're trying to avoid this, but I don't feel it was avoided. I feel it was already done. It's like, stick a fork in me, I'm done. You're like fall off the bone done. Like overcooked. Like, you know, whenever you put a piece of meat, like a pot roast, in the oven, and you know, at a certain temperature rate, and you know how it's good, it's tender, you know, but this was left in overstayed a welcome, where I get where this person, they could fall right on the swords and fall apart, because that's how done. Them swords have been stuck in the back so long that it has been overdue to leave. And the longer you stay, you will not heal. There is no hope. Why is the Six of Wands here reverse for the crossing? Magician again. Look at that. The Magician's right here too. Four of Swords, healing. King of Sword. There goes you. Now, if you're dealing with another, remember, you could be dealing with another air sign as well. I see fire. I see water. I see Aquarius. I see a little earth. With the Magician, I see every element though. But there is a lot of sword energy in this reading. If this is not happening right now, it definitely is going to be happening in Aquarius. And this reading is forecast for January. There was no victory right here. I feel like you're you're manifesting. You're wanting to change. You're wanting to reinvent. You need some time to go and heal. To go to oneself in solitude and to heal. Could be in prayer. To gather yourself. To be able to restructure yourself as well. Because you just feel like you are like embarrassed, but you feel like the Fool card ain't here, but I feel like you just feel like a total fool. Like I get like what somebody wanted to be recognized for was not what they're being recognized for. They're being recognized for something else that is not like you're not being recognized for what it was you wanted to. You're being recognized for something else. So I feel like you're needing to go back and regain your strength, your power, everything, possibly reinvent yourself. All right. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and see, why do you have the Seven of Swords though? Nine of Wands reverse. Oh my gosh, Queen of Swords reversed. Damn. Okay. You have the King of Wands. You are sneaking away because possibly this other person that you could be dealing with is very manipulative. And woo, it's like when they're not watching, like it's like when they're not, I'm watching them, but as soon as they turn their back, I'm gone. I'm slowly leaving. I'm gone. You know why? Because the Nine of Wands is reversed. And here goes the Queen of Swords reversed. And the Nine of Wands is not sticking around. They're like, you know what? I don't care. I give up. Like, I don't care. I'm not sticking around for this. You're not sticking around. But at the same time, I feel like this person that you could possibly be dealing with is so slick. If you look at both of these cards, okay? Like, hold on, let me show you. They're looking right at each other. Like you are trying to make sure this person's keeping their eye on you. They're keeping their eye on you. And you're having to, I feel like whenever you leave, you could be leaving some stuff behind. Something of two, maybe. I don't know. You're going to be leaving some stuff behind, but you know that you're going to have to do it. Like the wand energy is here. We have right here, and then there was a King of Wands underneath, right, the deck. So you have this fire while you have this in you to leave. And it could be, you could be a fire sign. I don't think that the other person's a fire sign. Maybe they could be, but I don't think so. I think maybe you are displaying as a fire sign. So you could have fire energy in your chart, or it could just be, you know, your actions of, you know, having that go energy to do it. The other person coming, what they're bringing you is a magician. Ace of Swords. Ten of Pentacles. Underneath the deck is a Five of Cups reverse. This person, they have the magician. Now, this is a very, like, this person manifests. This could be somebody that works, does spiritual work as well. But there is some sweeping truth and clarity. They are creating something, or they're saying something regarding a commitment or money, a large amount of money. And either it was something, an investment or commitment. An investment that was a large amount of either money, or maybe like a marriage or partnership or something. But this person, it's something of them coming, something from the past, but they're moving from the past. They could be saying that maybe some money that was supposed to be coming in, or something that was from the past, but they're like, no. They could be saying that it's coming in the future, in the present or the future. I don't know, this is weird, but I feel like usually this is a card of somebody moving on. The outcome is the Page of Pentacles. Three Swords reverse. Ten of Wands reverse. High Priestess. So, Gemini, the outcome for this reading, see, because you're bringing this, they're bringing this, okay? This is what's going on right now, and that's the outcome. Somebody wants to have a new beginning. They want to overcome Remember that Ten of Swords? There's Three of Swords. There's heartbreak. They're wanting to heal and come out of heartbreak and throw off this huge load and burden. Okay? I feel that somebody is paying attention to their intuition because the High Priestess was underneath the deck as well. Information, something has came to your mind that has shown you, it's shown you something. Maybe you're waiting on some money to come in, or maybe to have some type of money, I don't know, maybe to leave. But I feel like it's an opportunity for growth. An investment, it's small, but I feel like you are going to be leaving. Hold on one moment. I'm sorry, Gemini. I had a phone call. I feel like whatever this was a burden. Whatever all this, it was a huge burden. And somebody wants to, you know, heal and get over some heartbreak and just, you know what, throw this whole burden off. All right, there's 2 10s in this reading. No, 3 10s. Damn, there is like a completion. There's a completion in here. So hold on, let me count. All of this, whenever I count these cards, the sword cards, and of course the magician has a sword. Both magicians have a sword. Queen of Swords has a sword. When I count it all, it adds to 28. Oh, wait, hold on. That's a 7. Bring it to a 7. In this reading, this adds a 28, which will be a 10. 8 plus 2 is 10, but we have these 6 swords over here. That would be a 7. Somebody's intuition is telling them to go. They're telling them to move on, to leave, to move on. Ooh, oh Lord. Okay. In this situation, justice is reversed with the 2 of Cups reversed. This, whatever this was not meant to work. It is bad karma. So the longer that y'all stay in this situation, the longer you're going to have this bad karma. You and this person are not supposed to be together. It was possibly for a lesson that y'all are supposed to learn and move on. Because the longer y'all stay in that, the worse the karma gets. There is an earth sign right here. So I don't know if you're an earth sign or the other person's an earth sign. But I feel that the devil is right here. So somebody is very bound. If it's not to earth sign, I feel like they're bound over. Somebody is like, okay, I can read this different ways. There's a Capricorn. Somebody could be a Capricorn in here. Another person could be bound towards money. They want money, or they're obsessing over an earth sign. Somebody is obsessing over an earth sign. They're obsessing over money. Somebody is obsessed. a Tower was reversed with the Ace of Wands reversed. So this Ace of Wands was not to come to fruition, because, like I said, this was karma. I feel like you and this other person, or if this is another person, I mean, you know, take how it applies. I don't see a 3 in here. Well, I do right here. There could have possibly been a third party, but I feel like somebody's avoiding a Tower. They're like, you know what? I'm not going to go through this anymore. Like, obviously the Tower already hit because what's going on right here. It's like you staying after a Tower hits and all the bricks on the ground, and there's no opportunity. Like, you can't even rebuild. The longer you stay is the longer that you are lying to yourself. And there is no spark. And how could you even have any spark anyways to want to rebuild and everything? I mean, look at, have 10 swords in your back you got to heal from. You know? You've got the Star reverse. There's a 4 of Swords. There's a 3 of Swords. All this is telling me about healing, needing to heal. And then the High Priestess with the 6 of Swords. I feel like somebody is listening to their intuition and they are getting up and they are leaving. They are going. They're like, I gotta leave. I gotta go. Somebody could have seeked out spiritual advice even. Or somebody could even be going to a High Priestess. There's a High Priestess. But I feel like somebody is, they have intuition and they're listening to their intuition and they're leaving. So, Gemini, let's find out for the single Gemini what's coming toward y'all in January 2026, Gemini. You know? Show me what's going on for the single Geminis in January 2026, please. What can the single Geminis expect for January 2026? Graduation. Oh, y'all leveling. Red flag. New boo. Long haul. Underneath the deck. What I'm getting is y'all are graduating. Remember, this is a graduation card. Lessons learned. You needed to get out of this. You and this person, there was a lesson needed to be learned. Perhaps this other person you were dealing with, even though you were dealing with them for a minute, you weren't ever meant to stay. You were there to learn a lesson. And it's graduation day. So I feel like you leveled up. Red flagged. Warning signs, take heed, risky situation. And new boo. New love, learning each other, flirtations. Underneath is long haul. And it's winning long-term intentions and invested. So I'm going to tell you like this. All right. For the single ones, y'all are going to be in a space where there is somebody new coming into y'all's life. This person may want to have long-term investment, like they want to be with you for long-term, or y'all are going to be talking. But Gemini, you have red flag, warning signs, take heed, risky situation. Pay attention to somebody that when you first meet them, they start, how is it called? Future fronting? Where they're saying all these things long term. That is a warning sign right there, okay? Something healthy. It's important, of course, you talk about goals and everything, but when you're starting to incorporate somebody else in your goals and you just met them, and you know, this is kind of instability. Is this person really, do I know them? Do they really know me? I mean, how can you say that you want to buy a house and us get married and us do this and do that? And, you know, you don't know me. These are all signs of somebody that has attachment issues. And, you know, you don't know. You could have been dealing with a narcissist right here. This person could have some attachment issues. When they start talking about the long haul, pay attention. Because, see, you just got out of a situation. You don't want to go back into another one. All right? You need time to learn this other person because you have just graduated. And because you just graduated, when we learn lessons and we go through dark nights of the soul, we are quick when we're fresh out and everything, we're, you know, to ourselves, we can pick up stuff quick because, see, we're not, we don't have the wool over our eyes. We're not being, we can spot off manipulation, okay? And when somebody is going too fast and stuff, so yeah. You can spot red flags. So make sure that you do indeed do that. And just have fun, you know, get to know the person, but don't have anything long-term, really. So I'll see you later, Gemini. This is your reading. Bye-bye.